Hey guys, my name is Chantel. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for hanging out with me today. And we are back to talk about A3 this week, episode 5 of Autumn and Winter.
Yay.
There's some sad boy hours upon us.
Some real sad boy hours. I'm so sorry. All the Tai Chi stands are probably like so damn, they probably were just crying the whole time, man. And
I know.
And the CG, they animated the CG.
They added more like subtle hints that it was Tai Chi. I mean, you could tell in the game too, because of the way that he would act and like disappear. Sometimes you'd be like, But it was more noticeable because now you get to see Omi that he's like, there's something going on. And same thing with Sakyo, where they're just like watching them.
Right, when they were like talking about like, oh, what are we gonna do? And they're kind of figuring out like, okay, we're gonna remake the costumes and everything. Like, he was the only one that wasn't like adding to the conversation.
He was hiding behind, I think it was Omi, but he was hiding behind somebody.
Yeah. Like, he wasn't on screen when everybody else was kind of, like, talking and, like I said, adding to the conversation. So it was pretty obvious that, like, he was up to something or hiding something. But then, it gets confirmed when he gets the phone call and you see who's calling him. And you're like, oh, it's that guy from the God Troop. And it's just like, oh no.
This episode was completely different than how it was played out in the game. Because we got to meet the God Troop a lot later in the anime versus in the game it was when they were doing in their street acts. And since Taichi sees them out while they're doing the street acts, he's like, okay, bye, I forgot something, haha. So that's how they meet. But it pretty much plays out the same way, except just the boys aren't around. It's just Izumi that's introducing herself to the God Troop peeps.
Those assholes.
And they actually showed up for like what, their opening night, I think?
Yeah, they're there for opening night.
Which in the game they show up in the final. I don't know the terms. Mia knows the terms better than I do.
Yeah, in the game they show for closing night. It's just the last show, and opening night's the first show. So like, they kind of did things differently this time. Really, this just kind of like confirms that like, yeah, other theater troops can be assholes to other theater troops. Like, especially if you live in the same place, like the same city or something, like there's always going to be some petty ass shit going on where one troop's going to think, or one company thinks they're better than everybody else because they get like, you know, they get more money or like more people and stuff. So God Troop is clearly that kind of troop that, you know, they think they're you know, God's gift to the planet Earth and they're so great and perfect. But yeah, so they're there on opening night instead of closing night, and then they completely cut out, at least up to this point. I don't know if this is going to be in the next episode or not, but they completely cut out this part. I don't think it's going to happen in the next episode because, you know, we basically resolved everything with Taichi, like, by the end of this episode. But he steals the props. Like, he cuts up the costumes, which we saw in the episode, but he also, like, takes all of their props. So they don't have guns and stuff for the show, and they have to do the show. So in the game, instead of like you know, waiting to get new props, they just don't use props and they just kind of like pantomime everything.
Which is kind of funny because usually just comes out with like finger guns, and everyone in the audience is like, "What's happening right now?"
But then they're kind of like, oh, but it kind of, he still made it feel like he had a real gun in his hand. I still believed that it was a gun and not his fingers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, as soon as like I mean, I guess they kind of like instead of doing the actual him taking the props, they just did a little Easter egg of him like thinking about taking the props and like trying to hide, you know, where he like tries to take one of the guns. And then he, you know, doesn't, and Sakyo kind of like sees him doing it. And literally as soon as I saw that happening, like when that was happening, I literally yelled out, because like we used to say this all the time, I literally like screamed out. I was like, don't touch other people's props. If it's not your prop, don't touch it. Because if it's your prop, it's your responsibility. So if somebody else like messes with it and it's gone from the place that you put it to like where you're gonna remember that it's there, you're so screwed. And you're gonna be the one that gets in trouble because it's your prop and it's gone. Like, we would really hammer that shit in with the kids. Not only like we were teaching them, but just like for actual shows. So like before every show, we would always like, you know, as soon as people would get there, we'd be like, okay, get in your costumes and like, go set your props, because everybody like puts their props, either there's like a prop table backstage with all the props on it, or sometimes actors will just like, they'll put it in a specific spot, like on the side of the stage, or like they'll hide it somewhere that only they know where it is, so that way like when it's their time to go on stage, or they're getting ready and they need a prop for like that scene, they know where it is and they can go get it themselves and then like go use it. That way they don't lose it. So that way they don't leave it like in a dressing room, or like, in their pocket or something when it's not supposed to be there. So when he said that, I like, there was just like my automatic or like gut reaction is to be like, don't touch other people's props. So he didn't. But then I was like, oh wait, but he's supposed to take all the props. Like all the guns are supposed to be missing, and that didn't happen. And in the game, they have to like wait for like the whole first act, I think they don't have props. And then the second act, or like by the last scene or something of the play, is when they get the new props. Because Sakyo like makes Sakura like go buy new props, which I'm like, where the fuck did y'all buy those props from? Did y'all go to the fucking store in Persona 5 to go buy the model guns or some shit? Like, probably a store very similar or something like that. They have good money if they can get like actual props that look like that, because we never had any money for like really good props. We would always have to like make them.
I mean, they are in the Yakuza, so...
True. Or we would, like, actually, like, just use our own money to buy props sometimes, and sometimes it would be very expensive. Yeah, that was my gut reaction, was that. But basically, we kind of learned that, like, why Taichi did what he did, and Omi kind of gets that out of him.
It was so sweet, though, because Omi's just like, it's alright, I got you.
Yeah, when that was happening, I was like, I want Omi to comfort me when I'm crying.
I love, like, the visual that you see when Taichi's looking at Omi, and you can see, like, his eyes start to water as we're looking through his point of view. I'm like, that was such a nice touch. But also very sad. It was so nice, because you get to see, like, what Omi's expression is during that time, and it's just so, like, gentle.
He's very understanding. He's a good listener. Get you a man who can do that for you.
And that's when they go and apologize to everybody.
Yeah, because he basically tells him, like, you should just tell everybody the truth and apologize.
They'll understand.
And he's kind of like, he's like, no, I can't do that. I've ruined everything. Like, I can't, they won't want me to, like, continue being in the show.
Yeah, because he starts listing, like, his reasons why, and then one of the ones that like really stuck out to me, he's like, if Juza finds out, especially because he's like so passionate, I'm like, stop. I was like, he'll understand, it's okay,
right? Like, just just speak from your heart and be honest.
And that's when we finally get Taichi's true portrait.
He does it just in front of the rest of the troupe in Izumi, and we learned that he's technically actually part of the God Troupe, and he was asked by the leader of the God Troupe to basically spy on Mankai Company and sabotage them, so that way they don't continue, being an active troupe or theater company, rather.
Clearly they feel threatened.
Yeah, they clearly feel threatened if, like, they're willing to send some fucking kid to go spy on them, like, the fuck. But he's promised, like, a lead role in, like, the next God Troupe show if he does it and does a good job. But clearly he's been very reluctant to actually do all of this, and he feels bad because he's actually taken a liking to being in the Mankai Company, and he likes being around everybody. Plus, like, he's also just a high school kid, like mostly everybody else is. Like, it's not like he has like a 9-to-5 job or something, or is like a college student. Like, he's still a kid.
Yeah.
Being tasked to do this, like, it's a lot of stress and pressure that he doesn't need.
On top of that, since he was promised that lead, it's because he's never had a lead before, and he's always wanted to be like the star, which is very sad.
Just been looking for like some attention. Like, he's never stood out in terms of like just anything else. Like, he's never been like the best in like academics or sports. Like, he's always just very like average. Like, nobody really notices him. He even talks about like yo-yos were really popular, so he got like really good at, like, he practiced really hard to like get really good at it because he thought it would make him popular. But once he kind of like mastered it, like, the fad was like already had died down, so nobody cared anymore. And then he finally like got to be like in a little, he had like a small role like on a TV drama, so then everybody like paid attention to him, and like even people not in his class were like, oh, we saw you on TV, that was so cool. So like he was finally like getting attention and everything. And then as soon as like that was over and he would like, you know, audition for stuff or like go to camps or whatever for acting, like he would always just get like extra roles, not really like lead roles or even just like speaking parts.
Yeah, what made it worse is because he had like a same TV spot as Tenma. So he noticed a difference in their levels and stuff, and he was like, well, I really am average. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, because he goes to the same school as Tenma and Juza.
Yep, which made things even worse for him. He's like, well, now they go to the same school, so.
Yeah, and he's just kind of like, well, compared to them, like, I'm just meh. Because, like, Tenma's super popular, and he's just really good naturally just at acting, and then Juza's, like, really passionate. So, like, you know, people will pay attention to him, and Taichi's just kind of like, I'm just kind of like stuck where I am. Like, I don't really draw your attention or anything. I mean, you know, it's kind of like, I can understand why he did the things he did, because it's like, well, this is like his only chance to get like a lead role, and, you know, whatever it's gonna take, he's gonna do it so he can get that, you know, attention he craves and like yearns for, because he knows that he can like do it. I mean, hey man, he did a pretty good acting job of saying like, oh, I have zero acting experience, never done this before. I mean, they forgive him. Even Juza is like, I forgive you, but I don't forgive what you did. It's like a hate the sin, love the sinner kind of thing.
All is well, and he's finally like a part of the company. He feels like he's one of them.
Right, because they even ask him, like, well, which Taichi do you want to be? Is the true you the Taichi that's in the God Troop, or the Taichi that's in Mankai Company? And he's like, Mankai Company. And I'm like, hell yeah, bro.
Which we did get to see the play a little bit. Not too much dialogue, but they were just like little speed runs of it. The only thing we really got to see like line wise was Sakio when he forgot his lines.
Okay, if you guys are just a little advice, okay, this doesn't just go for like theater, this goes for like dance or like, you know, any kind of performance kind of thing, like dance or theater or singing or whatever. Like, it's okay if you mess up. Like, everybody makes mistakes, and Sakio learned that shit. Like, the good way of handling it is the audience doesn't know if you fucked up unless you look like you fucked up and like don't keep going, or someone doesn't save your ass, or if you like literally say like, oh, I fucked up. Like, the audience doesn't know what's gonna happen next in the play or whatever. They don't know if you messed up or not, or if you forgot a line, or if you missed a step or something. Like, you just have to keep going. So like you shouldn't worry about it if you like freeze on stage. And it's good that Juza like fucking saved him, and I bet he got that from the summer troupe, because that happened to the summer troupe. And like, you know, Sakio really beats himself up about it, and I was sitting there just like, dude, don't worry about it. It's okay. You got like,
right?
Like Juza saved, like he saved you, like, and that's a good thing. That means he knows his lines. That means Juza knows all his lines and knows all his cues. So that way, if anybody else messes up, he can help them. You always want to help your fellow actors on stage if they fuck up. But we got some good Sakio Izumi pairing scenes. That was so good.
Because she's the one there for him, and she's cheering him up and like, you're not too old. It's okay if you make mistakes.
He's like, I'm older than all of them, and I'm making mistakes. Like, they have a better...
Because he's like, maybe I shouldn't be a part of this. And I'm like, stop it.
I know, I'm like, dude, you're like, shut up. You're good. You're getting the chance to do it. Like, just keep doing it. And then, of course, Izumi's there, like, telling him, like, no, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. It's fine. You know, that's what theater's all about. That's the experience. Nobody's perfect on the stage. Like, even the best actors out there are going to mess up at some point, or they have messed up before they got really famous or whatever.
Izumi also tells him how she's been noticing that he feels kind of inferior to both Juza and Banri just because like they're younger, and or he feels like a little bit that they're more talented than him, and it's like, no, you're just as talented, my dude. I mean, he even outshined them in the next show, so much so that they were talking about him a lot.
The audience members were talking about him like, oh, he was great. Like, the two leads were awesome, but the boss character, oh, he was amazing. So it's like, you know, don't worry about it. You just do your best. But that was really cute because he got really close to Izumi. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute.
He tells her to take responsibility for him, and I'm like, yes, she will.
Yes, please. Because this is not an Otome series, so like, you know, I mean, you could ship her with whoever you want, but I feel like this is the most canon kind of thing. And then you yourself, as yourself, you can, your favorite can be whoever you want. But Izumi Sakyo is easily like high up there in terms of like the ships that I'm just like, ooh.
It's like Gaku and Sumugi.
Yes, exactly. It's like, you compare her with, whoever you want. It doesn't, like, who cares, whatever. But they're the cutest ship. Like, and they make the most sense because, like in Idolish 7, like, Sakyo's like the only one that's like actually kind of trying to show interest in her. I mean, she kind of doesn't really notice that because, like, she's not really about that. But I mean, in the game, he also tells you as the main character, like, oh, like, I had a crush on you. So who's to say it's still not true?
Clearly it still is if he's still thinking about it.
Yeah. Also, like, dude, you're not that old. Like, chill. You make me feel old. If he's saying he's old, I'm like, okay, then that means I'm old too, damn.
I think he's about the same age.
I know. I think he's like the same age as we are, like 26, 27,
something.
28, I don't know.
Holy shit, he's way more older than we are.
Oh wait, oh my god, how old is he? Hold on.
He's 30. Well,
oh my god,
he was 31. My dude.
But he's still not, that's not that old. Well, he looks good for 30, so, But I do believe we're more closer in age to the entire Winter Troop than any of the other troops. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that happened that was, like, different from the game or anything. I don't think so. I don't remember that happening in the game, him forgetting his line.
Yeah, it happens.
But I'm pretty sure the next episode is going to be the last one with the Autumn Troop, and then we're getting Winter Troop in episode
7.
I'm excited because their story is fucking weird. I don't know how they're gonna do it. It has stuff to do with like urban legends or like within the company. So, but I'm pretty sure we'll probably get like we'll get to see the actual play in the next episode for Autumn Troop.
We'll at least see the Winter Troop a little bit, or a few of them.
I can't remember who shows up though at the end.
It's obviously the dude from the God Troop. I'm so sorry to Tasco.
Yes.
I always forget his name. I'm sorry to all the Tasco fans.
He's like super quiet. He doesn't really like. I know. I'm sorry too. He doesn't really stand out to me. Like, I remember his name, but that's pretty much it.
And Azuma. You know what? Right now that I just like remembered Azuma, there is something that they changed earlier on in the episode. I think it was when they were chasing the dude. Or at least, I don't think they animated this anyway. Because I think they were like out in the street. I can't remember too much. But something was happening where someone was trying to fight, I think, the Juza and Banri. I don't think they animated this. I just remember it. And that's when Azuma's like, oh, the cops, they're coming. And they'd like scatter and they finally leave them alone. And that's how they meet Azuma. That's one of the things I completely forgot about that until like right now it just came back to me as I thought about Azuma. So I guess he'll show up next time, though.
Azuma's my favorite Winter Troop character.
But I'm a little sad we didn't get to see him a little bit early, man.
I know, that sucks. I forgot that shit even happened. It's because if they don't animate it, I'm not going to remember, unless it was like something really significant, like Taichi taking the props. Because again, I read all of these stories like a long ass time ago. I finished all of them a long time ago. So like I only remember like certain details for all of the stories. So like I completely forgot that happens. I'm excited to see the Winter Troop. Of course, Azuma's. He's the guy with the long silvery hair. You guys know I love my long silvery haired boys.
I can't fucking wait to see my boy Homare.
The most chaotic.
I can't wait for him to be spitting out his poetry. If they don't animate his beach waves, I'm gonna be so mad, man.
I'm excited to hear how the Winter Troop version of this OP is gonna sound.
It's actually up on Spotify and Apple Music. And they also have Tenma and
Sakuya.
Yes, I was gonna say Sakyo. It's because their names sound so similar, so if I mix them up, I'm sorry.
Some of their names are like kind of similar, like Masumi and Misumi. Like, god damn it, why do you guys have to like change one letter?
But yeah, if you guys want to hear what that sounds like, they're up there. Subuki sounds like super soft and it's so adorable, and I can't wait to see like what the visuals are gonna look like.
Me too. I'm curious, and I'm curious to hear what the ending song is gonna sound like for the Winter Troop. I think that's it for me. I don't have anything else to say. It was a good episode. Lots of feels.
It was.
Taichi stands, I hope you're okay. We got through it. It's fine. He's okay.
That's it from us for tonight. Next week we'll be over on Mia. And yeah, that's all we got. I don't know how else.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yes. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for listening to us ramble. And we shall see you guys over on Mia's channel next week. Bye.
Bye.